Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the sources to bring you the most fascinating stories. Today, we're heading to Osaka. Now, everyone knows it for its amazing food, its commerce, its energy. But what you might not realize is just how tied its identity, its whole essence, really, is to its port. We're going to dig into some incredible history here and maybe uncover a few hidden gems for you along the way.
You really put your finger on it there. It's fascinating, isn't it, how Osaka's foundation, both physically, the land itself, and economically, it's all rooted in the water. From the most ancient waterways right up to today's megaports. The story of Osaka is the story of its harbor.
Okay, so that deep connection you mentioned, how far back are we talking? What did those very first waterways even look like?
Oh, it goes way back, millennia. And look, here's something interesting from the sources. The area, modern Osaka and Kobe, it was called Setsu Province, historically.
Setsu Province.
And Setsu itself, it literally translates to govern the ports.
Wow, so it's right there in the name from the very beginning.
Exactly. The city's destiny, kind of written in its name. Now, the most significant early port we know of was Naniwatsu. It pops up in the Nihon Shoki, Japan's really old historical chronicles.
Okay, Naniwatsu.
Now, where it was, exactly, still debated by historians, but no question, it was absolutely crucial, especially during the Ritsuryo period, when Japan was setting up its central government, maybe even before that.
And it wasn't the only one?
No, later on, from about 785 A.D., another port, Watanabe no Su, became really vital.
Why the shift?
Well, mainly because new river channels were opened up. They connected it straight to the Yodo River. So suddenly, it was the main way into Naniwa, the old name for Osaka, if you were coming from the north.
The main gateway then.
Precisely. And it wasn't just for trade or boats. It served a really profound spiritual role, too. It was a starting point for pilgrims going to places like Shitanoji Temple and Sumiyoshi Shrine.
Okay, you mentioned the spiritual side, and I found something about Shitanoji Temple that really grabbed me. This belief that its west gate was like a direct path to the Pure Land. What was that all about?
Yes. That's the practice called Nisoken. Basically worshiping the setting sun.
Worshipping the sun?
Yeah, imagine standing there facing west, looking out over the bay as the sun goes down. People genuinely believed that sight, the sun sinking below the horizon over the water, was a portal, a way to the Buddha's Pure Land.
That's incredible.
It really is. And we even found a poem from 1237 by Fujiwara Iyataka. He talks about staying in Naniwa, specifically to pray to the sun's reflection on the waves, hoping for passage to the Pure Land.
Wow.
It just shows how the port wasn't just, docks and boats. It was sacred ground. The line between everyday life and the divine got really blurry there.
So for anyone visiting Osaka today.
Exactly. It's this amazing hidden layer of history right under your feet. This deep spiritual connection tied directly to the waterfront. A real hidden gem, I think.
That mix of the sacred and the practical is fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward a bit. How did this relationship with the water evolve when Osaka started becoming a major city? I'm thinking, Toyotomi Hideyoshi?
Right, Hideyoshi. This is where Osaka really starts to boom. When he built Osaka Castle in 1585, it wasn't just about defense. Not at all. He was actively designing a city, an urban landscape.
How so?
He oversaw digging these major canals, the east and west Horikawa, the Awazagawa. These were crucial. And then he actively invited powerful merchant families from places like Sakai and Hirano to come set up shop.
So it was a deliberate plan. Build a castle, build a commercial hub right alongside it.
Absolutely. He wanted a powerhouse, not just a fortress.
The scale of that sounds huge. What did that actually mean for the land itself?
Well, the scale was audacious.
Right.
Get this. And sources suggest something like a third, maybe even more, of modern Osaka City is reclaimed land.
A third from the water.
Yes. Much of it through this process called shinden, new land development, especially during the Edo period. Areas like Kansakajima, Kujojima, Shikanshima, these were early examples. They were literally creating new land out of the bay.
That's some serious engineering.
It was so extensive they even had special offices, Shinden Kaisho, just to manage it all.
Yeah.
It shows this constant, relentless drive to engineer the environment, literally building the city on water.
So this ambition, the shaping of the land, it just kept going right up until the end of the Edo period.
It did. And then, of course, things started changing globally. Foreign ships started appearing.
The Black Ships era. Did Osaka have any encounters then?
It certainly did.
Yeah.
There's a really specific detail we found. In 1854, a Russian ship, the Diana,
Russian, okay.
commanded by Admiral Puchetin, it anchored right off Tenpozan here in Osaka, seeking trade.
So right on their doorstep. That must have sent a signal.
Absolutely. It was a clear sign times were changing. And it definitely foreshadowed the official opening of Osaka Port just, 14 years later in 1868. That's when Japan formally reopened to the world. And the first foreign settlement was set up in Kawaguchi.
Kawaguchi, that's where they auctioned off plots.
That's right. To British, American, German, French, Dutch, Belgian citizens. A real international zone.
A huge moment. But I seem to remember reading, didn't Osaka struggle a bit initially compared to, say, Kobe? Why was that?
That's a really important point. And it speaks volumes about Osaka's resilience, actually.
Right.
The big problem, the fundamental issue, was that the harbor at Kawaguchi was just too shallow.
Too shallow for the new big foreign steamships.
Exactly. These ocean-going vessels couldn't get in properly. It wasn't just inconvenient. It was economically crippling. Think about it. 85% of Osaka's own cargo had to go through Kobe instead.
85%? Wow. That's an existential threat for a city built on commerce.
It really was. And some sources also mention maybe the local merchants weren't quite as aggressive in jumping into foreign trade right away.
Interesting. But not everyone left.
No. And this is fascinating. While many commercial firms did move to Kobe, religious and educational groups dug in. They stayed in Kawaguchi. You had schools like Baika Girls' School, Wilmina Girls' School, that's Osaka Jogakuen, now Shinai Orphanage, St. Barnabas Hospital, Isa Girls' School, which is Pulgakuen.
All founded back then.
Yes, mostly in the 1870s and 80s. And many of those institutions or their successors are still there. It makes Kawaguchi a really unique historical district if you're visiting, a different kind of legacy, another hidden gem shaped by that specific challenge.
Okay, so the shallow port was a massive problem. It sounds like it sparked a real public outcry, a demand for a proper modern port.
It absolutely did. You had this ancient trading city, this vibrant Edo center, suddenly handicapped on the world stage. People felt it. It became a huge public issue.
So who did they turn to? How do you fix a harbor?
Well, this is where Japan's Meiji restoration strategy really comes into play. They actively sought foreign expertise, and for water engineering, hydraulic engineering, who do you call? The Dutch.
Oh, makes sense. Masters of water management.
Exactly. The Meiji government invited numerous Dutch engineers. One really key figure for Osaka was Johannes de Ruyck.
Okay.
He arrived in 1873 and ended up staying in Japan for 30 years. An incredible commitment. He wasn't just involved in Osaka's port plan. He worked on river improvements all over Japan. A huge influence.
30 years. And his plan for Osaka?
He submitted this comprehensive plan in 1887. It wasn't just about the port. It integrated improvements for the Yodo River, too. It was truly revolutionary for its time. It laid the groundwork for the modern port.
Amazing dedication. Now, speaking of Osaka's identity, I stumbled on something else I thought was brilliant. The city's emblem.
Ah, the Myotokushi.
Yes, the channel marker. How on earth did a simple channel marker become the symbol for this huge commercial city?
It's such an Osaka story, isn't it? Apparently, there was this massive debate in the city council back in 1894. Went on for 9 months.
9 months debating an emblem.
Yep. People had all sorts of ideas. Some wanted a star shape made out of the character for O in Osaka. Others wanted, typical symbols of commerce, a scale, an abacus.
Okay, predictable maybe.
Someone even suggested Hideyoshi's personal emblem, the Senari Hyotan, his 1,000 gourds.
The gourds? Really?
Yeah, but in the end, they chose the Miyotsukushi, the humble channel marker.
Why? What does that say?
I think it says everything about how Osaka saw itself, its foundation. It wasn't about pure power like the castle gourds or just money like the abacus. It was about the water, about safe passage, about guidance, about that fundamental connection to the port that made everything else possible. A really profound choice by the citizens themselves.
That really is something. Okay, so you've got de Rijk's plan, this public push, the city choosing a water-based symbol. They finally build this big modern port. The main pier finished in 1903, right after the Russo-Japanese War ended in 2005. Did the big ships finally start rolling in? Was it an instant success?
Well, this is where the story takes another hilarious, very Osaka kind of turn.
Oh, it wasn't a success after all that.
Not immediately, no.
Yeah.
This grand pier, built with a massive 20 million yen investment, a huge sum back then designed for the largest ships. It saw surprisingly little traffic right at first.
You're kidding. So what do they do with it, this giant empty pier?
It became, and I quote, the Orient's best fishing platform.
No, a fishing spot.
Yes. Apparently, locals just started flocking there to fish. It was perfect. And then by summer, 6 or 7 beer halls popped up right there on the pier.
Beer halls and fishing. On the state-of-the-art International Pier.
Exactly. It turned into this massive, unexpected leisure spot down in Tenpozan. Before trade really picked up later, it was the city's favorite place to hang out, fish, and drink beer.
That is absolutely fantastic. Only in Osaka.
Right.
From sacred shores to the Orient's best fishing pier and beer garden. What a story.
It's pure adaptability, isn't it? It's making the best of the situation.
It truly is. Osaka's history is just written in its waters from start to finish. And that really wraps up our deep dive today into Osaka's port. What a journey. From those ancient beginnings, the province governing the ports, through Hideyoshi's massive city building, then the struggles with foreign trade, bringing in the Dutch engineers like De Ruyck, and finally, that incredible story of the Grand Pier becoming a fishing hotspot. It seems Osaka's identity is just inseparable from the sea.
Absolutely. And this whole history, it really underscores how vision and people and just sheer persistence can reshape a place over centuries, adapting, finding new ways forward, even when things don't go exactly as planned. Like the fishing pier, it's a great lesson in resilience.
So, what's the takeaway for you listening? Maybe next time you're in a city, any city, or even just looking at an old map, think about the hidden stories. What might be buried under the surface? What forgotten uses did places once have? You might just find your own local hidden gem of history waiting there.